Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How about your own self?
Oh, just fine, thanks.
You're welcome.
What you been up to this past week?
Well, I have an announcement to make.
Ooh,
I'm a new grandma again.
a new grandma again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
very
Rob-
awesome.
The robin who put the nest,
Oh,
who
boo.
remodeled the nest on my front
Boo.
porch. I saw her feeding a little baby this morning.
Boo.
Oh, it was so sweet, but I think she's got more in there because she's still sitting on the nest like she's trying to hatch some more.
Well, hopefully they'll fly away soon.
So that was one excitement. And then I went and got my hairs cut yesterday.
Oh.
Yes. And my stylist said she listened to the podcast and she really enjoyed it.
Oh, well, shout out.
Yes.
What is your hairstylist name?
Oh, Barbara.
Shout
Shara.
out to Barbara.
And not only does she cut hair, she's also a jazz singer. And she
Oh.
performs, yes, locally at Boulder and Longmont venues.
Very nice.
So we should go see her sometime.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So that was that. And then, Mother's Day, I was invited to
The nest?
The nest.
The bird's
No.
nest?
No.
Oh, good. Sorry.
To the LazyDog restaurant
Mm-hmm.
with my grandgirls, Ayla and Lena.
Very nice.
Who's Brian is Larry's youngest son and his wife Alana. And then her parents, Eileen and Bob, joined us.
Very nice.
It was fantastic.
Well, good.
And did you know that the LazyDog, if you make a reservation to sit on the patio, you can bring your dog?
Did not know that.
Yes.
And which LazyDog location was this?
This was the one off I-25 by 144th, up by Thornton. Yeah.
Okay.
They give them a complimentary bowl of water.
I would hope so.
They have a dog menu. You can
Really?
Yes, you can get ground beef and some stuff or chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
So the two little pups who were part of my menage a trois, if you remember a few months ago,
Yes.
they were there. Oh, I just love those little puppies almost as much as I love those grandgirls.
Aw.
Yes.
But not as much as you love Killian.
Not as much as, well, yes, not as much as I love Killian. He's number one. Well, and then actually, I guess Kyrie has to be number two.
Yes. Well, I would assume that really number one and number two, or one squared, would be Oscar and Isis.
Well, yeah, but they're a different species.
That is
So
true.
I put them in a different basket.
Okay. Oh, like
Yeah.
the Wizard of Oz basket?
Exactly.
Very cool.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So then Ayla picked out the card.
Oh.
And Lena picked out these beautiful flowers.
Wow.
And she said, they match your hair, Grandma Joan. And they sure do. They're all white.
That explains your Facebook post.
Yes. That was so sweet.
That is sweet.
I love seeing those girls. They're so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old are they now?
Oh, now you see, you're going to
Oh, I'm
catch me.
sorry.
Ayla is 11,
Mm-hmm.
and Lena would be 8.
Aw.
I think 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
fun.
And actually, they have done modeling.
Oh.
Yes. You've heard of the Meow Wolf place?
Yes.
Okay. So they were models for their advertisements. They got to go when nobody else was there. So they got to find like secret passageways and all kinds of stuff. I guess it was quite the trip.
Wow. And how'd they get
Hmm.
that gig?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Are they
Yeah.
like with a talent agency or something?
Well, I think Ayla used to be.
Okay.
Or I'm not exactly how they found out about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was my excitement.
Sounds like a lovely afternoon.
It was. Well,
Nice.
at evening. I mean,
Evening.
we met for dinner at 5, so
Ah.
yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
My kind of time.
Yeah.
Forget the Mother's Day brunch.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it was a zoo. But there were a couple other dogs there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all very well behaved.
Aw.
Yeah. So how about you? What's going on with you?
Well, today I was out and about doing some grocery shopping, and I happened to look at my phone to see if the beast was doing okay in his dog run, and I realized that there was another sighting on my camera of another moose.
Oh my gosh.
And then Killian was out, and it came right by Killian's dog run, which is fully enclosed, folks. If I didn't
what did
mention that
Killian
before.
do?
He was barking, but I think he was telling them, and this is exactly how Killian talks, folks, so don't make fun. He was saying, "You gotta go because Mom says I can't have anybody over when she's not home. So you can't be here. You gotta go. You gotta go. I'm not allowed to have friends over when she's not home." So that's what I think he was saying. Because can't you see him being a narc? Can't you see Killian?
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. Yes.
A little narc.
And did he chase the moose away?
No.
Oh.
They don't care.
Mm.
Plus, he was in his enclosure, so they couldn't get to him. He couldn't get to them.
The
So,
moose probably looked at Killian and said, I poop bigger than you.
I don't even think the moose glanced over at him.
Oh.
From what I could tell, it was on his mission. Like, I'm going over here now. And yes, Killian's like, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Well, the moose knows he rules that. I mean, he's the king of the forest.
I don't know if they know that.
Well, he knows he's the biggest thing around.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen Bear yet on the camera, so
I think the moose is still bigger.
Oh, you mean Killian was saying that they were ruling the forest?
The moose.
The moose. I thought you said the moose was thinking Killian was ruling the forest. I'm like, good God, no. Not my baby boy.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
He sure is. And then Auntie Joan and I attended an RSS, which is our streaming platform, and YouTube collective little webinar on how to get our podcast out onto YouTube. We are in the process of doing so, folks. It is still not going to be video of us, but it will be our voices and a still and likely a waveform, and maybe we'll even get our I say that term very loosely, Auntie Joan's really beautiful avatar videos for our trailers out there. So you will see some movement and watch us chit chat with our characters for our trailers, but we won't be doing that for the full episodes. So anyway, we're working on it. Go ahead.
Those are the same avatars that they can see on Instagram and Facebook, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That are already out there now. We did 2 episodes so far released with the Avatar trailers. They are very, very cool. Auntie Joan did an amazing job researching the proper software to use and how we were going to merge our 2 separate voice tracks into one cohesive video. She did an awesome, awesome job. So thank you, Auntie Joan.
You introduced an alternate way to do it that I hadn't thought of. So that made a big difference.
So, yeah, we'll let you guys know once we actually go live on YouTube. I think you might be able to see our site, but you can't see any of the videos yet because we're still figuring it all out. So the site's looking pretty empty other than Just our little description that you've seen on Facebook or Instagram or RSS for that matter. It's all the same description. That's pretty much all that's out there. And of course, Auntie Joan's beautiful artwork, our picture for our channel. But more to follow. We'll let you all know. So another avenue besides just Instagram, Facebook, we'll have YouTube and of course RSS and Apple Podcasts and
So
Amazon
you got
Music
no excuse. You got
and
no excuse.
Spotify and Pandora. We're on it all, folks. Tell your friends.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. Auntie Joni, what you got?
Well, I think it was just last week.
Yes.
I was watching my daily episode of The View,
Okay.
and Jim Gaffigan was on as one of the guests.
Love Jim Gaffigan. His stand-up, I've seen him live twice.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I adore that man. Every time his special comes out, I watch it. He's just so good. Continue.
Oh, thank you. So he started talking about Unfrosted, the movie he did with Jerry Seinfeld and many, 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 many other stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, that sounds like it would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Auntie thought that might be a good one for us to discuss at some time. And I thought, well, I watched it and I said, well, let's do it this week while it's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
My own personal take on it is it was awful. Absolutely awful. I hated it. The only redeeming quality, the only redeeming part of it was when they had John Hamm and John Slattery in as their characters they played on Mad Men
Mm-hmm.
when they were trying to sell their new treats.
Yes.
Nope. How about you, Auntie?
I also did not find it very entertaining. I definitely thought it was more geared towards perhaps children versus adults. Maybe children
Yes.
might find it a little bit more amusing. It was very slapstick. It was very and
silly.
Just silly, and not even like a good Will Ferrell silly. It was childish, in my opinion.
Yes.
And they all have children, so maybe that was exactly what they were going for. And I don't know, but no, it was not what I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. And my favorite part, the redeeming part for me, was not necessarily the Mad Men stuff, because I never watched Mad Men. But I did like when Jim Gaffigan and Amy Schumer were doing the twist with their little sexual tension going on. I thought that was adorable. And I did think Amy Schumer looked really, really good. Sometimes she's, not all that kept put together, I guess I should say. And the outfits they had her in and her character, I thought she, she looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the storyline, Jerry Seinfeld couldn't even help this thing. It was just it wasn't good. It just wasn't. Yeah. And like I said, I would be interested to see what a family would think of it, sitting down together as a family with like maybe, I don't know, kids that were, like your grandkids' ages. I think maybe might find it entertaining, but no, I was disappointed.
What's interesting about that too is there are references made to things that I think younger kids wouldn't even get today.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ask me what they were, because I can't tell you right off the
because it took place back in the 70s, 60s?
I think the 60s. Yeah.
So I'm sure that there were things that, they'd be like, I don't even know what that is. But they also just might go over their head and they won't even think about it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I had such high hopes for that one. It's been a while since we've seen Jerry Seinfeld in something that's been recorded and, other than his stand-up, it's been so long. And I, like I said, love Jim Gaffigan. I do appreciate Amy Schumer. I watch her stand up whenever I can.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy was in it. She had a couple of good lines, though, I have to say. Yeah, it was so star powered, but it just fell
Hmm.
completely flat, and it was just so disappointing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I thought it would be good because Jim Gaffigan, when he was talking on The View, I mean, he just made it sound like he did a good sales job. He made it sound
Yeah.
like, oh, it was so creative and they had all this power, star power in there to really make it worthwhile and wonderful. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Anytime that there's an abundance of stars in a movie, it typically falls flat.
Mm.
That I've noticed, for me at least. Like things like, I think it was something called Valentine's Day, where it had a ton of stars in it, and that movie was awful. Like it just,
Was
like
that a rom-com or was
it
it
was a rom
a,
com. It was
oh,
years ago. I don't even remember what year it came out.
see, my mind just went right away to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre back in the
No,
20s or whenever in Chicago
no,
or New York or wherever it was.
no. This was just called Valentine's Day.
Oh,
And it was yeah, it wasn't good. So I've kind of so I was a little concerned when I heard all the people that were in it, but I was like, but it had to be good, and it no, no it
yeah.
didn't. No it didn't.
I mean, like the funerals, where they throw in the cereal and the milk and all that stuff. It was just,
Campy. Very very
yeah,
campy.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was yeah, I was really sad. And Tom Papa actually talked it up a lot on his show with Fortune Feimster on Sirius XM when I was driving. And I heard him talk about it. But he also he used to tour with Jerry Seinfeld. I don't think he does anymore, but he used to. I think Tom Papa's a headliner now. He used to open for Jerry years ago. Um, but yeah, no.
Who is he?
He's a
Uh,
comedian.
No, but I mean, he was in
No,
the
no, no. He
movie.
wasn't in the movie.
Oh,
No, he was just, that's what I mean. He wasn't even in it. So he was talking it up and he
oh,
wasn't in it. So
oh,
that's why I was like, oh, a third party is even saying this is good. And then I
yeah,
watched it and was highly disappointed. That's too bad
yeah.
because they had the right people. They
I did
just
like Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Oh, and you probably like Tony the Tiger.
well, I love Tony the Tiger because that was Hugh Grant. I loved that. I did really like that Hugh Grant is taking on these silly roles because he is notoriously a curmudgeon. And I love that
Is
he's
he really?
oh my God. He is to the point where I actually saw no, Jerry Seinfeld was on something where he was interviewed on something and he basically says like, yeah, I reached out to Hugh Grant to play a character. He didn't say at the time what it was. And Hugh Grant's like, Jerry, you like me in my movies and things like that. You're not gonna like working with me.
Ooh,
And Jerry's like, oh come
ooh,
on, just do it. And so he did it, and Jerry just said, oh my God. I mean, Jerry just
really?
doesn't not like him anymore. He's a curmudge. He's just a curmudge. I don't
Wow.
even know
Well,
what else
maybe
to say.
maybe he's having trouble getting parts in other movies that he's taking on some of these.
Because I first learned of that it was an anniversary recently, either this year or last year's Christmas of Love Actually. And Emma Thompson is the first
Mm,
person I heard say that, oh my God, he is
wow.
just Debbie
Wow.
Downer, just I don't want to do anything. I don't want to, like you got to really talk him into stuff. And like the dance scene he did in Love
Yes, I
Actually,
was just thinking. Oh, no, I
he
was thinking,
he said absolutely not. I'm not doing that. He was like up until the day they finally filmed it, he was a no. And then and look, it's like one of the best parts of the movie. That's the only part of the movie I like. I really don't like that movie, to
I
be
don't think
honest
I
with
ever
you.
watched that movie. It's a, yeah,
But
no.
he does this dance, and that's to me the highlight of the whole movie because it's ridiculous and it's
Did he do
fantastic.
a did he do a dance thing in Wonka? Seems to me I remember a discussion about,
Oompa Loompa dance because he was an Oompa
well,
Loompa.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't anything. It was more elaborate in Love Actually. It was to jump for your love, I think. Jump
Mm.
from Pointer Sisters,
Oh, oh, oh.
and he dances the almost the entire song,
Oh, I love that song.
and it's hysterical. You should YouTube it and watch it. To me,
I
like I said,
will.
it was the highlight of the movie for me. So I just
I
always
am
thought he
gonna.
was silly and fun. And
Uh-huh.
he is not.
And Jay
Supposedly.
and Jay Leno actually had the cojones to have him on
After his
after
little sexcapade.
yes, and say, "What were you thinking?" Boy, oh boy, he had cojones.
He did. And but I like that interview because he owned it. He didn't try and say, wasn't me, or I don't want to talk about that. He got out there. Yep, I did that. Yep,
Yep,
got
yep.
caught. Like, so I actually had a little bit of respect for him after, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, come on, Hugh, you don't need to do that shit. And then he just owned it and moved on. And I don't
Well,
think people have really talked about it since all of that happened.
well,
Every once
we
in a while
are.
it comes up, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like us.
It's not a big topic of discussion. Like it's not in every interview he does.
That's too bad.
Auntie
that
Joan's
was-
smiling, by the way. She doesn't ever laugh out loud after her sarcastic comments, but I want people to know that she is joking.
Well, that was probably all staged anyway for him to try to get his career back, I mean, to not suffer from the scandal and
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm a big negative on Unfrosted. If you got
that's
kids,
good.
try it. Maybe,
Yeah.
like I said, family time. It might be something. Even younger kids. There's certainly nothing in it that young kids can't see. There might be, innuendo, but it's going to go over their heads. But otherwise, for adults who really enjoy all these wonderful comedians who are in this movie, it really, really fell flat, and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, well, time marches on. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk
Commercials.
about. And today I've chosen State Farm with Ludacris.
Oh, that's just ludicrous.
My very first question is, how did this guy ever make it as a singer? Because he cannot sing. It's one
He's
little
not a
jingle.
singer.
He's a
not
rapper singer.
He's a rapper.
They still typically have decent singing voices, and he does not. He had 3 seconds of saying, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and he didn't. He went, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And I'm like, oh my God, can he really not sing?
He was in character.
It wasn't good. And the whole, oh, this is Ludacris. And he shows up like, oh, no, you need State Farm. I'm like, stop it. This is dumb. It was just dumb. And he can't sing. And I had a problem with the whole thing. Sorry.
Well, now tell us how you really feel.
Like if that commercial never aired, nobody would miss it. Like
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, a play on words I thought was cute, and yeah, I didn't mind it so much.
no, I just was not enthralled by it. I didn't think, even from a character acting perspective, I thought he was awkward and terrible. Yeah, the whole thing was just bad. I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than I just had to get it out because I assumed he could at least do that little jingle. Everybody knows the jingle. Jimmy Fallon, who I also can sing, in his commercial for State Farm, he doesn't sing it very well either, which I find funny because it's not that hard of a jingle and everybody knows it.
Well, that's the whole point of it then, I would assume. It's like,
No.
no, they don't want you to sing it well. They want to leave they have to imprint it on your mind. And if it's a beautiful melody, it just comes
It's
and
not
goes.
long enough to be a melody.
Well,
But they're all out of key, and I'm just like, oh my God, how hard is this? It's
like
very
when
short.
I sing.
Well, when I sing, it's out of key too, but that's expected. We're not professionals.
Well, it hasn't hurt his career. Let's
Well, I don't
put it that
know.
way.
Has he done anything recently since the whole State
Well,
Farm commercial?
Well,
I think he
probably
shaved
not.
his head, from what I understand. He did something
Oh.
with his hair.
But I mean, he
He
was
let it
able.
go. He took out everything, I think.
Oh.
I think he's got a fro now. I heard something about his hair not that long ago, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to see that." And I never look it up though.
Well, anyway, he was able to get to a point where, people knew who he was when he was asked to do the commercial.
True.
So that hasn't hurt his career. I could not tell you, name any of the stuff he's done, but then
Zero.
I'm a 75-year-old woman. So what do I know? The
Yeah.
fact that I even heard of Ludacris before is something. So
Yeah, I don't think I can name a song of his either. If I heard it, I might be like, I think somebody would have to tell me. I probably heard a song of his, but I didn't know it was Ludacris. Like, I don't associate it with Ludacris. So yeah, that was just I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'm semi hip. I mean, I know who 50 Cent is, and I even know how to say his name.
That's because of Chelsea Handler.
No,
Yeah,
it's
her
not.
time with
I've
50
no,
Cent.
no. I've liked 50 since he came out with "It's Your Birthday." Whatever, because it's your birthday. And years ago,
Yes.
I took my nephew,
Yes.
Matt. No, not Matt. Adam.
Mm-hmm.
We had him stay with us for a couple months
Mm-hmm.
in the summer. And I took him to see, are you ready for this? MC Hammer.
I loved MC Hammer.
Did you really?
I did.
I did too.
If it comes on the radio when I'm, either
Oh,
any of the songs,
yes,
I'm
yes.
very excited. Yes.
Too legit to quit.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
And Boys to Men
Oh, I love Boys to Men.
and TLC when there were three of them. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's a good concert.
Uh-huh.
Where was this?
Fiddler's Green.
Really? They came to
Yeah.
Fiddler's Green
Yeah. And this would have been probably 91, 92.
at
Yeah.
the height of their careers? Fiddler's
Uh-huh.
Green.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
All right. Wow.
Too legit to quit.
That's right. Oh my God, can't touch this.
I used to think MC Hammer, or as Stephen Colbert would call him, Mick Hammer. I used to think he could do the best exercise videos,
Oh, sure.
Oh my gosh, they would have sold like hotcakes.
That was
was back-
hotcakes when you're exercising.
Well, if you do his exercise, you can probably eat as many as you want because he really moved.
He did.
Yeah. Mhm,
Very
mhm.
cool. You're a cool auntie.
Oh, well,
Auntie.
not anymore.
A
Not
cool
anymore.
Auntie Joan.
They're all grown and have kids of their own.
Now,
So-
did you know that y'all ready for this? That they play at all the
the
sporting
football
events and
games.
stuff.
Yes,
That's like a real
yes.
song.
Uh-huh.
There's like other lyrics to it. I just heard it on
Uh-huh.
the radio like over this past week. I was like, oh my God, this is like a real song. I thought they just did it for the stadium stuff.
And Auntie has entered that age.
Yeah. I was so shocked because I saw it come up on my Sirius XM monitor in my car, and I was just like, why are they playing this? And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then it just kept going. I'm like, oh my God, there's lyrics to this song? I had no idea. Never heard it before in my life, besides at a stadium. There you have it.
Oh.
So yes, Ludacris, I'm really sorry. If you gave a little bit more effort on the jingle part, maybe I wouldn't have dissed this so severely, but
And I'm okay with it, Ludacris.
it just seemed
You
lazy to me. For somebody who has talent, that was very lazy, in my opinion.
It was the director's fault.
Sure.
Respect, Ludacris. Respect.
All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you want to bring up with our listener today?
Let me think about that for a minute. Nope. I think I'm done.
That was not a minute, by the way.
Well, when you get to my age, a minute goes quickly, as do the years.
Indeed, I hear ya. All right, then. Well, that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now. Hasta la vista.
We thank you for listening, and remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.